Hello students, I am here to demonstrate to you the first practical in numerical modeling subject, and the practical is entitled as to perform finite difference analysis of stress around a circular tunnel using FLAC 3D. Okay, we'll be using this software, and the aim is to study the effect of mesh size on stress distribution around the opening. So we'll be excavating a circular tunnel of 8 meter dia, so the radius obviously is 4 meter, and you will see the effect of different mesh size. There are two different mesh size that we are going to use. One is coarse mesh, which is 1 meter into 1 meter, and fine mesh, which is 0.25 into 0.25 meters. Okay, so what is mesh? Mesh is the suppose this is one element. The dimension of one side of the element is this element. The collection of all the elements for a particular area is called meshing. So we suppose, so this domain is 40 meter in x-axis and 40 meter in z-axis and unit length in y-axis. Since it's 2D, so the mesh will be these small boxes. If these are elements, so all this is, so this area is meshed with these small elements. Okay, so for first coarse mesh will be using 1 meter into 1 meter. A fine mesh will be using 0.25 into 0.25. So I hope you understood it. So now you're going to see the data which are available for us for modeling purpose. First of all, we are not going to simulate the circular opening, simulate the whole opening of the tunnel, which is a circle, but we'll take only a quarter part of the circle and simulate it. So we'll be excavating around 4 meters here at this juncture, and it will look somewhat like this. This area will be excavated and we'll be left with this. Okay, so that is going to be. So then firstly we see that sigma v vertical stress of 5 MPa is applied here on this element, the domain boundary, and sigma h of 10 MPa is there in this domain boundary, and this domain behaves as a isotropic elastic material. Okay, which means it behaves as an elastic substance, and so it should have some Young's modulus, which is 10 GPa, and Poisson's ratio 0.25. These two define the elastic nature of this material, and density is given as 2600 kg per meter cube. So now we are going to use FLAC 3D package, and first we'll make this geometry, which is 40 into 40 meters boundary domain, and then we'll make a small excavation here of 4 meter, and then we'll see the stretches which are coming on the ground and side walls. Okay, already mentioned in coarse mesh we're going to use 1 meter into 1 meter, fine mesh 0.25 into 0.25. So first of all, we're going to calculate the stresses using closed form solutions, which you have already read in the subject, theoretical subject, and that is called Kirsch equation. And here is the Kirsch equation, which you have already read. This equation for circular opening for any point at a distance r, if this is the radial stress, this is tangential stress, this is the shear stress, and these are displacements in radial and tangential direction. So if here we see that we're going to find stress at the periphery, at the boundary of the opening. So when this r is equal to a, sigma theta gets reduced and sigma rr becomes 0. Now we know that the stress ratio K is equal to sigma h by sigma p. In this case, sigma h is 10 MPa, sigma v is 5 MPa. So K is equal to 2. And this gets, when r is equal to a, this gets reduced to this equation. Okay, so we see sigma r equal to 0, and shear stress again is 0, but the tangential stress is this. So the value of K is 2, and sigma V we are going to calculate, and theta at side wall will be 0 and at ground will be 90 degrees. Okay, this theta at side wall is 0 and here it is 90 degrees. So accordingly we are going to calculate. Let's get back to the practical paper. So if K is equal to sigma V we are calculating. So if 4 meter is excavated, 4 meter is excavated here in vertical direction, that is Z, 36 meter is left. So this 36 meter is going to exert a stress of 0.028 into 36, which is almost 1 MPa, plus 5 meter is on the top on this boundary, so it becomes 6 MPa in total, sigma V. That is coming on the point at 4 at the crown. Okay, so sigma theta for side walls. So sigma theta, the tangential stress for side walls is equal to 6 MPa, and for crown it is 30 MPa. Okay, got it? This is 4 meter. And so let's get started with the modeling. So first of all, we are going to go to a Flak3D software. It looks somewhat like this, and these are the buttons that you can see. This is the user interface. Mainly this is the area where you write the command line, and this is the tab. This is called a data file, and this is the plot file where the results appear. So firstly we're going to do it for the course mesh. So I named the data file as geometry_course. Okay, you can make a data file using going to file and then add new data file and then write the name of that data file. So I wrote it geometry_course. So now we started. Yes, we gave a command as model new because every time this will run, a new model is being created. Otherwise the old model and the new model will overlap and the results will be bizarre. So we give this command so that every time we run this command, the model is refreshed. Okay, so now zone is the element in finite difference. Zone is the basic element, and we are creating a domain of 40 by 40, and the circular opening will be a radial cylinder. This is the primitive shape. If you can see the structure in Flak3D. So this is the area which you're going to excavate, and this area will remain. Okay, so this shape is known as a radial cylinder. Okay, so this radial cylinder has certain attributes which you're going to see. So here is point. Suppose we are going to define the coordinate first. This 0, 0.1 for x-axis, 0, 0.2 for y-axis, 0, 0.3 for z-axis. In this case, 0 to 0.1 is 40 meters, and 0 to 0.2 is unit length. Will keep 1 meter, and 0 to 0.3 is 40 meters. Okay, in upward direction. So here you can see that 0 is origin, 0.1 is x-axis 40, 0.2 is y-axis 1, 0.3 is z-axis 40. Okay, and then we are going to determine the mesh, the size of the mesh. So before that, we'll go to this code called dimension. Dim is dimension. Dimension means, if you can see the primitive shape again, this is D1, this is the dimension, D1, D2, again D3, D4. So D1 is equal to 4 meters here, and D2 is equal to 4 meters, and D3 also 4, D4 also 4. Okay, so I gave 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, now going to the size. So in this dimension, it has to accommodate size of the mesh. In D1 direction, the size is S1. In Y direction, the size is S2. And in this periphery, the size is S3. So this is 4. So if we want to keep the mesh as 1 meter, we'll have 4 elements. So we keep size 1 as 4, as you can see here, 4. In y-axis, its unit, we are keeping 1. Now again, going back to this primitive shape, we see on the periphery it is S3. In the third size, the arc length is equal to almost 6 meters, 6.6. The arc length can be found out by dividing the circle into 4 parts. So arc is the 1/4 of the perimeter. So if you find 2 pi r by divided by 4, you will get it is equal to 6.28. So if we are keeping 4 elements in this S3, so each element will have a dimension of 1 point something. Okay. So it's equal to 1.047, equal to almost 1 meter. So S3 also we are keeping 6, since the dimension is 6 meters. Okay. And now S4. Size 4 is this part. So this remaining part is 36 meters. Since in 40 we subtract 4 meter of radius, 36 meters remaining. So 36 meters is simulated by 36 elements, so 36. And the ratio is 1, 1, 1, 1, so that the size of the elements will remain 1, 1. It will remain of unit length. It will not be graded mesh. Okay, that you'll come to know later. So first, by doing this, we create the geometry first. Let's do it again. Okay, so if I run this to code, you will see that I get, this is the geometry that I get. Okay, here it is, this is the origin, as you can see. In this area you will get the information about the points. As you can see, the grid point, this point is 0, 0, 0 origin, and then this point is 40, 0, 0, and this point as well is 40, 0, 40, and this is 0, 0, 40. Okay, and in y direction it is unit length. Now this is the geometry that we got. Now we will assign the material properties. Since it is elastic, we'll use this command line zone C model assign elastic. For elastic we need properties, which is elastic modulus and Poisson's ratio. In FLAC 3D we directly cannot enter Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio. We do it using bulk modulus and shear modulus. If we input both these modulus, FLAC 3D will automatically calculate the Poisson's ratio and Young's modulus and assign it to that domain. So here bulk modulus is 6.667 GPa and shear modulus is 4 GPa, density is 2600, as you saw in the paper already. Now since this is a tunnel, and so we initialize the gravity. So As we go deeper, the stresses will keep on increasing. If gravity is not initialized, sigma v will remain constant throughout the domain. So we initialize the gravity again. So that gravitational force also adds to the vertical stress of the domain. Now we will apply boundary condition for the models. Let me first run this code up till here. We are using run selection, not execute. If you do execute, it will run the whole thing. So we're using only the selected part and we run it. So you can see that here zone C model assigned elastic. Here there are 240 elements in total and to call this 240 zones, and these properties are assigned in this model. And gravity also is assigned C minus 9.81 in Z direction. Okay, then we will apply the boundary conditions. So now for boundary condition, what we'll do is at this portion we will restrict vertical displacement. Okay, so in order to do that, we are going to fix this in Z direction. We will apply roller boundaries, and in this we already applied 10 MPa of horizontal stress. In this phase and this phase, in x0 and x40, we are going to again restrict it for any horizontal movement. Okay, and so here zone phase apply velocity z equal to 0, so there won't be any movement in vertical direction z at a position of z0. This position of z0 is this part. Here z is equal to 0. Okay, and here we are putting roller boundaries to restrict the vertical movement. Then again we are applying velocity y0. So we are restraining the y movement in y position 0 and 1, which is this phase and this phase. Okay, again applying velocity x0 in x position x0 and x40. In this phase and this phase we are restricting horizontal movement in x direction. If you want to see the boundary condition, you just have to right click on this tab and add plot item, and then you can click on GP fixicity and press OK. So it's not showing yet. Maybe some sort of problem is occurring. It's not showing. Otherwise it should have. Don't know what's wrong. Okay, no problem. But it's there. Oh, we have not applied it yet, so it's not showing. We will run this code also. So see, these are applied in their respective phases. And now when we add GP fixicity, it will show. See here, red boundaries are Z restraint. Okay, this blue are X restraint, and green in this and this phase are Y restraint. These are the boundary conditions. I will minimize this. After that, we are going to apply the stresses at the boundary, namely the vertical stress. We are applying zone phase apply stress ZZ in vertical direction 5 MPa in the negative Z direction. Okay, at position Z40. This is the position Z40. We are applying stresses of 5 MPa here. Okay, let's run this code. applied, added to 3 faces. Here are 3 faces, only there 1, 2, 3 faces. And now we're going to apply horizontal stress of 10 MPa, and this is going to range in throughout the model. And so we apply 10 MPa in this. So you can see 240 is the total number of zones. Everywhere it is 10 MPa. Okay. Now we solve the model for equilibrium, and then we're going to save the model with name in geometry, where excavation has not been made yet. So we are solving. So we solved it, and this is the model virgin geometry. Okay, now we're going to check the stresses, mainly the vertical stress. So vertical stress, we said that it is 5 MPa, so you can see minus 506 Pascal, which is 5 MPa, and here it is almost 6 MPa because gravity is applied. 1 MPa is coming additional because of gravity. And if you see horizontal stresses of XX, you see it is around 11.6 MPa. Okay, and yeah, because horizontal stress is a function of vertical stress, so it keeps on increasing as well as vertical stress increases. In the lower portion, the vertical stress is more, so horizontal stress will be more in lower portion. Okay, so now we excavate the model. See, we excavated this portion, and now we'll solve it again and save it using the name excavated tunnel. Now it is solved, and we are going to see the maximum. The radial stress and tangential stress are the minimum and maximum principal stresses, and those we're going to see. So for that you have to come to this, click on this zone, contour, value will be stress and quantity will be minimum principal, in which you're going to see the value of stress at this point near the position crown. So you can see it is coming around minus 2.39 0 plus 07, which means 23.9, which is almost 24 MPa, right? (24 MPa) is 24 MPa. And at the side walls it is coming around 8 MPa, 8.22 MPa. From the Kiss equation we have seen that it is we have already found out the value is 6 MPa and 30 MPa. So here it is coming 23 and 8. So there is a difference in between the calculation of LAC3D and the Kiss equation. Okay, so now we are going to change the mesh size of the model and see how the results will vary, whether it will vary or not. So again we are using different data file, and we're going to change the mesh size. Since the dimension is 4 and we are using 4 meter of radius, we are going to use 0.25 meter of element size. So there will be 16 element in the radius, 1 in y direction, 25 in the periphery, of, if you are going to cover almost 6 meters with this 6 meter with 0.25 mesh size, it will come almost 25 elements, and the remaining 36 meters, this size 4, 36 divided by 0.25 will give you 144. Okay, and so the tunnel part is named as tunnel fine. So we're going to see the plot. This is the tunnel fine group, and this is going to be excavated. So this is named as tunnel fine here. Okay, and we again assign the material properties and gravity and the boundary condition is already explained, and we solve it and then delete this area of tunnel fine, excavate it and solve it again, and then we save it, and then we see the stresses. So in order to see the stresses, we'll go to zone, make this to contour and value maximum stresses we'll see. So at crown, if you see, it is coming almost 27.5 MPa. 27.5 MPa, and here it is coming minus 6.8 MPa. Minus 6.8. So we see that as the mesh size decreases, the results are much more closer to the Kiss equation. Okay, they agree much more. The difference gets smaller and smaller, and that is the outcome of the numerical modeling today. So you have to fill this paper, which is closed form solution. You get the value of sigma x's and sigma yy. It is written sigma x's, sigma yy. It should be sigma rr and sigma theta theta, for because it is a axisymmetric coordinate system where r is the radial direction and theta is the tangential direction, which is the angle. So you find the through closed form solution, which is sigma rr is 0 and sigma theta theta will be sigma theta theta will be 30 MPa and 6 MPa for sidewall and crown. And then you see during coarse mesh we already found out the principal stresses, and you can find the difference between them and write the remarks how much it is, by what percentage it is, what percentage of difference is there. Okay, similarly for fine mesh also you have to do it and write down the remarks here. So all the best for that, and I hope you'll be able to do it. If you need any help, you can comment on this video and I will be attending to it. Okay, if you need any more explanation, write in the comment section below and I will answer to you. Thank you so much for listening attentively. I hope that it will help you in your modeling.